Hi, so today I want to show you a little trick that I use to tie up my plants when they're starting to fall into my walkway. So you can see here that I have some leopard lilies. They're also called blackberry lily, and I really love these flowers because they not only look great when they're blooming, but the foliage of the strappy lily plus the seed head of these plants, they look kind of like a blackberry, and they're really pretty, and I like to keep them all winter long. So because of that, I like to tie them up so that they're not falling into my walkway. Obviously they get quite tall, so they're not necessarily prone to staying upright all season. My name is Amy, and over at prettypurpledoor.com, I help home gardeners create landscapes that are uniquely you. And today we're going to be staking up some plants so that they get out of my sidewalk and I can keep them for a longer amount of time. So let's get to it. So what I found works best for me are these ties, and these are called slim soft ties. They're by Hacksnicks, and they also have regular soft ties that are a little bit thicker than this, but they're basically really soft material, rubbery, and they have a wire inside of them, so they'll hold up your plant without actually damaging the plant. And what's cool about these is the color. So they're almost like a light green. A lot of the ties that I've seen that look like kind of a twist tie, they're like a bright green or a dark green, and they kind of just stick out with this particular plant. So I really think that this matches the color of it really well. So that's why I like to use these. So I'm just going to show you how I do this, and hopefully it'll give you the confidence to do this yourself so you can save your lilies for the entire winter without having to get rid of them because they're falling a little bit. The only thing that you'll need for these soft ties is something to cut them with. And you could probably even use scissors for these because the wire is very thin inside of them. And I use these wire cutters that we just have at the house to cut them. So first you want to kind of pull up the ones that are falling and just kind of get an idea of how you could potentially hold them up together in the best way. So I have to untangle them a little bit. And the trick is to tie them to another one that is kind of already in the position that you'd like. And I try to do this in smaller segments just so that I'm not doing too much and creating too much weight. So then I just kind of take the tie and I try to tuck it in so you can't really see it. And then I'll just gently wrap it around my anchor one. And you just take the wire and you twist it like a twist tie. So the trick here is to work in smaller segments so that you don't create too much weight, like I said. And I'll just go through and I'll clip pieces, I don't know, maybe like 1.5 feet long. It'll really depend on what plant you're trying to do this with. But I'll take another segment here and just sort of loop this. And just be careful not to damage the plant as much as you possibly can. And then I'm just going to wrap around here and go kind of inside. And again, I'm going to twist. And what's nice is after you have one or two up, you can almost wrap this wire right around another wire. So you don't even have to go all the way around the other plant. You can kind of tie the wires together to hold it up. Getting there. I just have this one that's kind of hanging out. You take you. I'm going to tuck this inside here. Go around here. Actually, this one here looks a little like it broke. So I'm going to take out anything like that that doesn't look healthy. And This is a good opportunity for me to start taking some that are in the back here and pull it forward towards that one. And I can connect this one here in the front, this one here, to the ones that are closer to the street. But first I need to bunch up the ones that are in the street. So here again, I'm just going to loop through the wire on one of these just to have somewhere to anchor it. And you see how this one here is still kind of in the road a little bit, so I'm gonna anchor around that, and I'm gonna actually pull that towards me. See, I'm pulling it towards me, and then I'm gonna anchor another piece onto this. And as you do this, as you wrap around a couple times on each little section that you do, you'll start to see how they're all kind of coming together and centering in the middle of a bunch. I have this one here that's still loose, and this one here. So I'm going to tie these together and see if there is a way for me to actually pull this a bit further. So if I tug on it this way, so it's out of my walkway, and then loop my wire through here, definitely able to get it to stay upright. I rearranged this just so I can get you a closer look here. And you can see the ties here. Here's one here, and then here's one here. You can see them all in here. So what I was doing was just really taking one and then tying it to the other bunch, like this mess right here. And then I just go around and I do my best to keep the strappy foliage on the outside so that it looks good. So here's the walkway. And before you couldn't even walk through here, and now look at how tightly bound it is. And just little tiny bits of wire showing. You can barely see it. And you can walk through quite easily. And here's the original position of the camera from the beginning of the video, where it was really in the way. And now you can see that it's totally clear. In the majority of scenarios, all you'll really have to do is tie up your plants with these soft wire ties. But I just wanted to point out that there are cases where that just won't work. And even though you're connecting the loops together and pulling it towards the direction that you want it to go, sometimes it just doesn't have enough to hold on to. I've done this with this bunch of blackberry lily the last 4 or 5 years, but this year, for some reason, it just was still tipping after everything I did. So all you have to do in that scenario, if you're tying them up and it's not working, is stake the entire plant. So I just used a metal rod that I had. You can use sticks or actual stakes that you can buy at the store. And it makes it really easy after you've tied everything up, so it's not really like a lost cause, because it gives you the ability to arrange the plants in the way that you want them and kind of bunch them together. And then when you run the stake through, you can run it through a bunch of the loops and hold everything together. It's right here. You can barely see it, and it's kind of hidden in the middle, but this stake in the center is all I really need to hold this whole thing up because of those ties. So if you can't get it to stay up perfectly, add one single stake to the center and you should be good to go. Okay, so I hope that that helped you to give you the confidence to tie up your plants in a really simple way so that you can enjoy them for a longer amount of time. And be sure to click on the next video here, and I'll see you over there. Happy gardening.